Word on the street. FisMaz Show. What's the word on the street? Like, who got the beats that be killing the game? Who's up on the screen? Who playing who? What's the score on the sheet? Fiso the Prince got him taking the seat. Got the legends giving us the 411. Fiso Maz from the 031. No hating sports and entertainment when we got it all and we're the only ones. And after all that action, never have a dripping high fashion. Drippy on some rich amnesty, stylish and soak up with passion. If it's giving us less, then we never settle. Make sure you pull up and bring all your medals. Sit back and relax, let's go. It's FisMaz bringing you the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show.
Hi, this is Benni McCarthy from the Multiply Titans, and you are locked into the only show that matters, the FisMaz Show.
Hello and welcome to the FisMaz Show. It's been a long time coming. We've been building up quite nicely with regards to season 2, but that is on hold for now. And unfortunately, we are doing a holiday special rather as we iron out a few deficiencies with regards to our plans going forward. But nonetheless, we're still excited about what's to come. So basically, we'll have 5 episodes, different topics, current affairs, as well as some features with some former players that we'll do. And I'm really excited for that particular journey. And I'm excited about today's show especially. But before I introduce our guests, I just want to quickly just touch on a few house rules. Please make sure that you continue to follow the show at FisMaz Show on Instagram, as well as go check out the website at www.thefismazshow.com, and will basically just interact with us. And we are really looking forward to being back and in touch with all of you. Right, without any further ado, today's show is focusing on the mighty AMAZULU Usuthu. So we're looking forward to that. And for that very reason, I thought I'd rope in a former player and as well as a guy who's got his ear on the ground in Durban and in South African football. And that is Menzi Ngcobo, who is, of course, a football administrator, has worked at Nati Lions. He's worked at eThekwini Coastals, as well as Quality Talent Sports in various administrative positions. And he's also represented some really top talent like Njabulu Mangana, the former Golden Arrows and Orlando Pirates man, as well as Fiso Mazibuko, the current Bafana International. So that is Menzi Ngcobo. And then the former player is my main man, Sandile Zungu, former Ajax Amsterdam, former Ajax Cape Town, former Kaizer Chiefs, and of course, more importantly for today's topic, former AMAZULU man. So hello, gentlemen. How are you guys doing? You staying out of trouble? I know it's hard for a guy like you, Stiga.
How's it, Fiso? Nice to be back on your show. Staying out of trouble, staying safe, and always keeping myself sanitized and masked up.
Hey, this guy. You're busy selling dreams here, eh? Hey, Menzi, what do you reckon? Is Stanton selling dreams here?
Stanton is selling us the dream there. I'm not too sure whether he's really staying safe and sanitized, but on my end, all is well. I'm keeping safe, keeping at home, trying to stay out of trouble. And yeah, we do what we love, football.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So, I mean, I think it's a perfect time to really get stuck into the AMAZULU topic. I know, especially with you, Menzi, we've had a lot of communication with regards to AMAZULU and what they're building. Let's just start there, right from the beginning. You know, when Sandile Zungu took over, it seemed like there was a different wave, a different energy about the club.
No, definitely. If you look at the AMAZULU project, it's like a big jigsaw puzzle. With many moving parts that Sandile is trying to put together there. And one of his main sort of visions with the club is that he wants the club to finish in the top 4 in the immediate future. So if you're looking at mid-term, short-term and long-term planning, his short-term stint or his short-term goal is to get the club to become a contending club for one of the championship titles. So there's a lot to talk about in terms of what he has to do in order for him to achieve that. But as you know, one of the big pieces that were missing in this jigsaw puzzle was a big coach. And I think everybody already knows now that that jigsaw puzzle is already in place.
Stanton, from your side, I mean, a lot has changed since you were obviously at the club. And it's an exciting time because it's one where you feel AMAZULU supporters, they can probably dare to dream a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I think they've done really well in the transfer window. They signed some big name players. A lot of them will contribute to the club, not only on the field, but off the field as well, guiding the youngsters that AMAZULU will hopefully bring up. And bringing in Benni, I think that was a great decision, because you need a big coach with a big personality to manage the big players with big personalities. I think they're in good hands, and the ambition of the club is really good. I think they thought about it nicely, and they want to be up there competing for the title. There's nothing that stops them at the moment. So I think for me, this has been, one of the most exciting windows for AMAZULU this far.
Menzi, I don't know if Stanton was listening into your video from that I posted on social media. It seems like he's taken the words right out of your mouth with regards to big coach, big personality. You want to build on that?
No, definitely. So if you're building a team like AMAZULU, or let me just put it this way, if you are as ambitious as Sandile Zungu is, and your main aim is to sort of resuscitate the pride and joy of the KwaZulu-Natal Kingdom, which is AMAZULU, the first thing obviously is to acquire the right quality of player, acquire the right type of backroom staff to be able to back that up. But the biggest piece, like I said earlier, of that jigsaw puzzle is to get a big name coach. Now, what a big name coach gives you, it gives you big match temperament, like Stigger just mentioned. But not only that, it gives you a big presence in the change room, which is something that you really need once you start bringing in the big talent in the club like AMAZULU. So it comes as no surprise to the likes of us who've been keeping our ears on the ground that Benni has officially arrived at Usuthu, because what you're going to see over the next couple of weeks is not necessarily a change in playing style, but you will see players playing with some sort of vigor and some sort of ambition, because what Benni brings to any football club is not necessarily tactical acumen, which he might argue, but what he brings is ambition. What he brings to the table is the dream of becoming a top player and becoming a top club, having still being the only player in the country to have a Champions League medal. That on its own remains an inspiration to all professional footballers in the country. So it came as no surprise to me when Sandile Zungu made the call through to Benni to bring him over, because it just made sense. If you're going to build a team with big players, you need a big coach, a coach that the players can be able to listen to and take advice from.
Yeah, I love what you say there with regards to Benni, in terms of not necessarily his story is not necessarily about a tactical acumen, but you almost feel like Benni also brings that dog with him. He's a guy who, as a player, he had a bit of bite. He had that winning mentality, and that's something that no doubt he'll look to rub on the players together.
No.
Yeah, look, I think he did that at Cape Town City already, which I think was his first job as a head coach, and he did it pretty well. I think he over the years he's learned from some of the best in the world. Working under Jose and still being in touch with Jose, that plays a big part in his coaching career, and that I know personally that Benni, one of, I think his favorite coach was Jose Mourinho, and if that guy is close and is your personal friend, and you don't take anything away from just being friends and listening to all the coaching guides and tips he's given. Then I think that Benni would be really stupid not to take it. But Benni, like you said, he comes with that dog, he comes with that experience, the Champions League medal. Everybody spoke about Benni, and Benni's here now. Benni is going to prove himself. I think he's going to do well. And he brings more than just a coach, in bringing himself to this club.
I want you to build on that, Stiga. Sorry, Menzi, I'll come to you now. I want you to just build on that, Stiga, because obviously you have that, I guess, that personal rapport with a guy like Benni McCarthy. Take us into the mindsets. Take us into the guy that you would have played with. Take us into the mindset of a guy that you know pretty well. And just share it with anyone who doesn't know Benni McCarthy, what type of man and what type of coach that AMAZULU have acquired.
Yeah, look, as a player and as a person, Benni was always a winner. Benni wanted nothing but the best. He showed it. He's the only player that has won the Champions League, like we've mentioned before. His playing career, you can't move from a big club to another big club to another big club and not score goals if you're not a big name and if you don't have big match temperament. I think Benny's the perfect example of the talent with the attitude will get you places, and not just talent, because we know we've seen a whole lot of talent go to waste. But in Benny's case, the mentality was right. And I think it rubs off a lot on the players. I think his experience at being at the highest level will rub off on players like Shaba that has been at the highest level, but not as Champions League level. So I think he's going to lift every single player at AMAZULU, and he's going to take them to the next level.
Menzi, I know for you, yeah, I mean, we grew up together. I know how much you loved Benni McCarthy as a footballer, first and foremost. But as a Durbanite, as a proud Zulu man, are you excited to see a guy like that with so much pedigree at a club so close to home?
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, there's a bit of history that maybe has gone amiss over the past couple of years with regards to Benny. He has very strong ties with KwaZulu-Natal. He has some sort of lineage with either the province in terms of his place of birth or some of his parents who were born in the area. I'm not too sure of the actual facts, but I know that he's got very close ties with KwaZulu-Natal as a province. But I know that it's been prominent in the news and over the years during his career that he's a Cape Townian that made it big in Europe. But not only that, he's got really strong ties with KZN. And what I also wanted to add is that not only does he command respect from other players, he's got a very good rapport with the people. For a person who's achieved so much success over the years, he surprisingly is very approachable. He exudes this sort of confidence but calmness about him. Like Stigger just said, he's a winner by nature, but not only that, he's got that humanity in him. Yes, if you want to bring someone to a fight or a dogfight, you know you've got to go Benny. But he's got a calmness about him. I remember watching him. They were playing when he was still at Cape Town City. They were playing a game against Golden Arrows, and after the game, when the players were getting onto the bus, he was helping carry out the water bottles from the change room, as if he was just another one of the backroom staff. And all the players were carrying something, helping out the backroom staff, carrying stuff onto the bus. And the crowd that was waiting outside for him, he stopped there. He had time for every single fan and kid that wanted to take a picture with him outside. And that says a lot about the man. And for a club like AMAZULU, who have been hanging on to a little bit of history over the past couple of years, I think it's about time that this new acquisition not only brings the promise of success, but it also brings someone like Benni McCarthy, who's going to be able to come in there and not only just have a promise of success and bring that success. So I really can't wait to see what he can do with that team. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow when they face off with Golden Arrows in the first derby. It's a really baptism of fire for him to have that first up as a match. But we'll see. It's exciting times ahead, definitely.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. I mean, you touched on success and bringing success. Benny, you know, he won trophies at Cape Town City. A lot of coaches go a very long time in their career. Some top coaches that just do not win even one. You know, we've seen a guy like a Steve Kompela, unfortunately, falling short. He's coached some big teams. He's worked with the national side. So I guess we can't, you know, play down his role at Cape Town City and really helping them establish as a strong force in the South African top flight. But in terms of success, guys, I mean, is there a formula to success, you know, or do you just need things to click, Stanton? I mean, with regards to, I mean, you've been a part of the footballing world in some of the biggest stages in the world. Is there a formula to success?
I think there is, and there's the element of luck. So the luck comes where you have to be at the right club at the right time. And the formula will always be the honesty, the transparency, the talent, the mentality, and the willingness to do whatever you have to do to make it. I've done it. I know what I'm talking from experience, leaving home at a young age, sacrificing being with family to go to an Ajax academy with my goal of being scouted and seen by Ajax Amsterdam. And the only way I could achieve that was by doing the same thing I did every day, which was wake up, pray, work hard, train, listen, and just have that good attitude and the willingness to do that extra, which a lot of players lack these days. But yeah, that's a topic for another day. So there is a formula, but there's also the element of luck.
Menzi, I mean, from an administrator's point of view, it's not always, it's not always straightforward with regards to we want to win titles, we want to finish at the top four. There's a lot that goes behind it. It's not only the players that you acquire.
Definitely. I'm listening to Stigger trying to process what I'm going to say when I get a turn to speak. And just a few things just flashed across my mind. Top of my mind, I could say, is you need to lay the right platform. You need to be able to build a team on a solid foundation. And by foundation, what do I mean? One, what attracted Benny to the project was not only the prospect of working with a new owner who's got the funds to be able to pump into the team, but it was, will I have control over what happens in terms of team selection, acquisition of players, the junior structures, the MDC team, the under-17s or the academy at Glenwood High School? Would I have a say in what happens in the entire football club in terms of the value chain of players and of the movement? And once you get that right, you're set. You're on a road to something good. But it's not overnight. It depends, again, on other dynamics. The competition in the league during the year, injuries, the type of players, what type of age are they? Are they injury prone? Can they last the whole season? Can they last a cup run? And can they last a league run? The backroom staff, are the players being paid well? Are they being looked after? Conditioning, is that conditioning being done correctly? Nutrition, are they eating right? Are they getting enough rest? Are they regenerating? All of those aspects that maybe football consumers or football fans don't really get time to consume. All of those small things that especially have worked for teams like Sundowns are going to be very critical for the success of AmaZulu going forward. And I hope that with the acquisition of Benny, some of those things will definitely have to fall in place because he will demand that they do. Otherwise, he won't be able to see the success that he needs. And I think that's what he got when he was at Cape Town City. Not only did he get the support, but he got the backing from the owner to be able to put all of those things in place for him.
Yeah, I mean, you make some great points there with regards to all of those facts that I guess there are a lot of knowledgeable football fans out there in South Africa and around the world, but I think people don't understand, that sometimes it's the small details that make that massive difference. And from a player's perspective, Stiga, I'm sure you can add with regards to that.
Yeah, look, there's what Benny needs to do, and what I think is necessary at the club is to look into that what Menzi said, that value chain, that whole youth development that we are struggling with at the moment. And once the club is behind him with that, and he can produce and scout players, promote players, and get the current players, the crop of players to perform at their very best, then he'll be successful, no doubt about it. I think he's walking into a team that I don't think he's made any signings. I could be corrected on that. Has he signed any players? Or is he walking into a club that has signed players already? So, that will all work into his favor or against him, just depending on how he takes over and leads this team.
I look at how, I guess, everything unfolded right at the beginning of the campaign when Sandile Zungu took charge. You had a young coach in Ayan Dlamini. They call him Cobra. Stiga, you would have played with him. You had a guy like him in charge. Yeah. And then you heard about the goals of the organization. And you thought, it's going to be tough for a young coach. It's how unfair is this whole situation on a guy like that? I know they say voluntarily step down, but hey, man, this is football. It's a business. I don't know how much you would have been volunteering. Menzi, maybe you can just help us with regard to
that. Look, Fiso, it goes without saying. As soon as that acquisition happened, everybody in the football circle, everybody in the football fraternity already knew that the writing was on the wall. Look, Ayan is a fantastic guy. I've seen him and I've met him from a distance a couple of times. Not only that, he's also quite a tactician. He really plans well, really prepares well. He really knows his way around the PSL. He knows the players. He's got quite a good grip in terms of the youth structures and the players that are in sort of like the youth circles around the country and around the province. So He's no Mickey Mouse coach by no means, but the stage at this point was just slightly too big for him. And maybe not the right time and not the right club and not the right type of ambition for him at this stage. But the type of contribution he's made to the club makes him one of those club men that will never leave AmaZulu unless something really tragic happens. So he will be there and thereabouts as part of that club. But to be honest, as soon as that acquisition happened, the writing was on the wall. It was just a matter of time for Sandile to find the right type of man for the job. But I also wanted to add that it's going to be very important for Ubeli to be able to come in there and be able to get a grip on those players, be able to get a grip on their training regiment, how they travel, how they look after themselves. And what Stiga said as well, it's going to be very important to see what he does in the January transfer window. What type of acquisitions is he going to make? Because to be fair, AmaZulu hasn't really contested the transfer market per se. They've signed players that were either let go or were surplus to requirements in other clubs. So these players are players north of 30 years old or players that have had PSL pedigree and have shone a couple of times. But I don't think that those players are players that Benny would have gone into the transfer market to acquire. Now, the test will be in the next month or so, or the next couple of weeks. Will he make acquisitions to add onto the team, maybe to build further onto the spine? You've got an aging back line. You've got a decent midfield, but they're really blunt up front with Ubongi being injured. The acquisition of Rushaga, who's traditionally a winger, who hasn't been really scoring goals over his career, is going to be really troublesome for Ubeni. And I know maybe Umulenga can be able to answer some of those questions, but that's going to be a very key area of concern for him. And going into the January transfer markets, and I think that's where we can start judging him in terms of what he wants to bring into the club.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's quite a fascinating topic with regards to AmaZulu. A lot of people probably wouldn't be making this much noise about the club, but there's, again, I touched on it. There just seems to be a different wave at the club. We saw even with the introduction of Benni McCarthy. I mean, a small thing like that social media post. It just shows that, okay, this is now a proper ship. And I'm sure Stanton, you would have wished it was like this back in your day.
Yeah, of course. And being a striker, learning from Benny and getting Benny's input, that would be priceless. I think, like Menzi mentioned also, he has to go into the market and look for a striker. And guess what? He'll look for a striker that can score goals. He'll look for a striker that will give him what he gave to clubs. And that's goals. Goals win games, and we all know that. Very difficult to find it in the PSL at the moment, because obviously all the top goal scorers will be at the best clubs in the country. But with the ambition of AmaZulu, I see them signing one or two good strikers in the January transfer window.
Gentlemen, I don't think this will be the last time that we get together and have a chat. It's flowed quite nicely. Yeah, man, it truly is an interesting time with regards to South African football. Stiga, I mean, I know you've been quite busy. You're running around. You've got a. Do you still have your brace on? What's happening? Your injury? Are you surviving?
Man, I thought that Corona was enough. I thought that retiring after tearing my ACL twice would be enough. I was playing social football with Tebs Amaloy, Stiga Fredericks, Fabian McCarthy, dribbling them, and I snapped my Achilles. So I'm still injury prone after football, and I'll just be relaxing at home, staying out of trouble.
All right, so I think it's probably best to do that. Yeah, guys, Menzi, Stiga, I really enjoyed that. I think there's so much more that I was nearly gonna jump into, but I thought, you know what? Let me rather call them back at some stage. Let me rather call them back. We can touch on development. We can touch on other PSL matters. And yeah, we can get stuck into all South African football topics. And I hope to see the both of you again in the future.
Definitely.
Sure, thanks for having us, Fiso.
Sharp, man. Thank you for having us.
All right, no, cheers, gentlemen, and all the best. Enjoy Christmas and enjoy New Year's. Stay out of trouble, especially you, Stanton, with that messed up leg of yours. Menzi, I know he's a well-behaved man. Not to worry about him. All right, boys.
Cheers, man.